Bad dreams, huh?
Well, I mean, you could say that. It seems so real.
Well, it is real, sort of. You see, part of being a Grey Warden is being able to hear the Darkspawn. That's what your dream was, hearing them. The Archdemon, it talks to the Horde, and we feel it just as they do. That's why we know this is really a blight.
Yeah, that's as Duncan was saying. But, you know, kind of how could he? Archdemon, is that the dragon?
I don't know if it's really a dragon, but it sure looks like one. But yes, that's the Archdemon. It takes a bit, but eventually you can block the dreams out. Some of the older Grey Wardens say they can understand the Archdemon a bit, but I sure can't. Anyhow, when I heard you thrashing around, I thought I should tell you. It was scary at first for me, too.
Could have told me earlier.
I know, I've just been so distracted with the, massacre of all my friends and the war and all that. Sorry. Anyhow, you're up now, right? Let's pull up camp and get a move on.
Alright. Oh, he did not like that. Oh well. Watch Sten and Jake back away slowly. Huh.
You are a true warrior and worthy of respect.
What, real quick, let's give Sten some supplies. We'll go ahead and go with that one. Yeah, he's a two-hand weapon user for his skills. Massive. Really want the long way again. I'll put the massive on him. I only want him in heavy tops. Put that one. Of course, there they are now. Someone else over there too. But let's talk to our members first.
I await your command. So, full of questions, are you?
Tell me, are you really Flemeth's daughter?
I assume you were actually asking whether Flemeth herself gave birth to me. Truly, I do not know. I once asked Flemeth that very question, and she merely laughed at me. 'Tis not inconceivable that she could capture a chastened man, or perhaps change to a more attractive form to attract him willingly. I find it more difficult to imagine her with child.
True. Could she have stolen you as a child?
It seems likely, does it not? In an animal form, a babe could easily be spirited away and raised as Flemeth's own. I do know the tales of Flemeth having many daughters, even though I have never met another. and Flemeth has always treated me as her blood.
What if you have real family out there?
I would have nothing in common with them, nor any need for what they might provide. Flemeth taught me everything I needed to learn. How to survive, the meaning of power, the truth of men. If other mothers do not teach these things, then I believe them the lesser.
I suppose that's true.
You suppose it's true? 'Tis true. To indulge in love is to indulge in delusion. Surely a Grey Warden such as yourself does not believe otherwise.
I'm not sure what I believe.
An honest answer, if a somewhat vapid one. You shall learn in time, if fortune smiles on you.
Okay, approval. I was a little worried there. I think I recovered with that answer.
Your command. So, full of questions, are you?
Okay, we've already done that part.
I await your command.
So, life in the wilds must have been very lonely.
At times, perhaps. A world full of people and buildings and things was all very foreign to me. If I wished companionship, I ran with the wolves and flew with the birds. If I spoke, 'twas to the trees.
But you eventually left?
Such simple pleasures will only enthrall for so long. I recall the first time I crept beyond the edge of the wilds. I did so in animal form, remaining in the shadows and watching these strange townsfolk from afar. I happened upon a noblewoman by her carriage, adorned in sparkling garments the likes of which I had never before seen. I was dazzled. This, to me, seemed what true wealth and beauty must be. I snuck up behind her and stole a hand mirror from the carriage. 'Twas encrusted in gold and crystalline gemstones, and I hugged it to my chest with delight as I sped back to the wilds.
What happened then?
Flemeth was furious with me. I was a child and had not yet come into my full power, and I had risked discovery for the sake of a pretty bauble. To teach me a lesson, Flemeth took the mirror and smashed it upon the ground. I was heartbroken.
But you were just a child.
And a foolish one. Flemeth was right to break me of my fascination. Beauty and love are fleeting and have no meaning. Survival has meaning. Power has meaning. Without those lessons, I would not be here today, as difficult as they might have been.
Those are harsh lessons to teach a child.
Perhaps, but they were necessary still. To return to your original question, perhaps my time in the wilds was indeed lonely, but such was how it had to be. I find myself at times wondering what might have become of the girl with the beautiful golden mirror, but such fantasies have no place amidst reality.
Keep that approval coming.
I await your command.
I think right here, whatever you ask, there's something that it always ends up negative, so I'll show it, but I'm actually going to load it back after. It's what I
We're in
think it
camp,
is.
so 'tis as good a time as any.
Yeah, it's the why are you still here? She does not like this question.
I am here because Flemeth commanded me to aid you. Why? Do you wish me to leave? I can do so if you prefer.
Yeah, all these get kind of the same result, I think. Just a different amount of approval lost. No, I don't want you to leave.
Then I assume our discussion ends here.
Yeah. 10 gone. No thank you. Alright, let's talk to Sten.
Why are we stopping?
We're working together, I think. I should get to know you.
There are darkspawn to be fought. Is this delay needful?
I I need to know if I can trust you at my back.
I am Qunari. I have given my word to aid you. We are not people of idle promises.
I've never seen a Qunari before. Tell me about your people.
No.
I wasn't expecting that.
Get used to disappointment. People are not simple.
Okay.
They cannot be summarized for easy reference in the manner of, the elves are a lithe, pointy-eared people who excel at poverty.
I don't know if we want to go a little hostile, aren't we? Let's just move the conversation to, you said you were in the army.
I am.
What made you decide to become a soldier?
Decide. I am a Sten of the Beresad. I did not choose to be who I am any more than you did.
Have you ever fought in a war?
I have always fought in war, human.
So you must know your way around a battlefield then.
Some of them. They aren't all alike.
Are you always this bad about answering questions?
Generally. I do not see how this matters. Seheron and Parvolan are distant. Ferelden and the Darkspawn are immediate.
Would you hurry?
What a strange language you speak. You say hurry where I would say duty.
It's not your duty to handle the blight, though.
No, it is yours, and you are chatting with me instead.
Jeez.
As you wish.
That went well. Let's keep at it.
Yes.
I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Why did you come to Ferelden?
To answer a question.
Question or the answer? What was the question?
The Arishok asked what is the Blight. By his curiosity, I am now here.
Don't you have to report back then?
Yes.
I can see you're right on top of that. When are you going to do that?
Never. I cannot go home.
Why not?
It doesn't matter now. Can we move on? We keep the Darkspawn waiting.
What were you doing in the cage?
Sitting, as you observed.
I just sworn he was standing. It's not what I meant.
It's what you asked.
You don't like me much. Just tell me.
I did. Parshera. Was there anything else?
A question?
I am hardly surprised.
Oh, okay.
Very well.
I want to discuss something you mentioned.
Speak, then. Then I suggest we move on.
So I guess that's it, because I don't think...
As you
I
wish.
don't want to say, I think you should leave. Okay. So one thing I'm going to be doing, if no one really says anything new as I'm going through this, I'm just going to skip my conversation with them. And not put it in the footage. Let's go ahead and talk to this guy. Levy Dryden.
You're a hard woman to find. Where are my manners? The name is Levy. Levy Dryden. Did Duncan ever mention me? Levy of the coins? Levy the trader?
I didn't know him too long, man. No, he never mentioned you to me.
Really? He never told you of old Levy? We've known each other for years. But here I am carrying on while you have a blight to stop. Don't want to waste your time. But you see, Duncan promised that together we'd look into something important for the Wardens. And for me. But poor Duncan's... well, no more. A tragedy it is, at that. But I know he would want his work carried on. His pledge fulfilled.
How did you know him?
It's a bit of a tale, that is. But I'm the one who brought the Grey Wardens back to Ferelden. Well, I was one of the ones. There were a lot of us. Maker's breath, I'm a bit nervous. Honoured to be here, really.
Okay, well, tell me about it.
After King Marek freed us from the Orlesians, the Grey Wardens begged the King's permission to come into Ferelden, some sort of internal business. Me and a mess of other Warden sympathisers spoke on behalf of your order. Tan Loghain was very much against letting Orlesian Wardens in the kingdom. But Marek, Andraste, bless him, was a fair-minded monarch and he let them in.
Go on.
So that's why I was there when the Wardens and their leader, Genevieve, presented herself to the King. The first Wardens in Ferelden in over a century. Proudest state of my life, that was. Duncan was a bit of a scamp back then. We were of an age and struck up a friendship. The King himself went with the Wardens on their mysterious business. When he returned, he rescinded King Ardland's decree, and the Wardens came back to Ferelden for good.
Marek rescinded the decree just like that?
Marek was a bit of a visionary. A powerful mind, that one. In his travels with the Wardens, he must have seen how important their cause was, and been moved by it.
I doubt that's the full story, though.
There was some talk at court that he did it to improve relations with Orzammar. That might have factored into it. But make no mistake, King Marek was a giant among men.
Why were the Grey Wardens cast out by Arlen?
People say it's because the Wardens have become terribly unpopular. Just soaking up tires and not doing a bleeding thing for the kingdom. I say that's bollocks, as recent events have shown.
Duncan was an easy man to like.
That he was.
No, I thank you for your part in bringing the Wardens here.
Oh, his stomach's all aflutter. You're welcome.
Okay, well, what promise did Duncan make to you?
Well, as you know, my family's name is mud around noble circles. My great-great-grandmother, Sophia Dryden, was the last Warden commander of Ferelden back when the Wardens were known as freeloaders. So King Arlen banished the Wardens, and he took House Dryden's land and titles.
Just tell me what I need to know. What happened next?
Hard to say. After King Arlen died, there was a civil war, loads worse than this one. And our family was on the run, hunted by enemies, with nary a friend in the world. But Drydens are tough. We rebuilt, became merchants, and we never lost our pride.
Surprised you kept your name.
Our family's only crime was guarding the kingdom against the blight. We're not ashamed of that.
Fair enough. So, what favor did you ask of Duncan?
I asked for the truth. My family reveres Sophia Dryden. We know she died at the old Grey Warden base, Soldier's Peak. We want evidence to clear her name. It won't restore our land or our titles, but it'll restore our honor.
I've never even heard of Soldier's Peak.
Well, no one's been to Soldier's Peak since Arlen's days. At least none that's come back. I spent years mapping the maze of tunnels to the peak, and I found the way a few years back. So I went to Duncan, I did, and I said that he could reclaim the old base and my family could have its honour.
How will reclaiming the peak help the Wardens?
Soldier's Peak has strategic and symbolic importance. Duncan said that it would be worth it right there. He also hoped to recover lost Warden history and perhaps a few old relics. No one knows what's up there now.
Why didn't Duncan help you then?
Darkspawn surfaced in southern Ferelden, and Duncan got plenty busy recruiting new Wardens and meeting with good King Cailan.
Makes sense.
Duncan said he would help after the Battle of Ostagar. Said there might be useful things at the peak, but he never had the chance.
What do you need from me?
I can pick my way through the tunnels at the base of Soldier's Peak, but the place, well, they say it's haunted, and it'll be dangerous for certain. Will you think on it, at least?
Your family's faith will be rewarded. I will help you.
1,000 blessings upon you, Warden. I'll mark down the location on your map. When you arrive, we'll pick our way through the tunnels together.
Alright. Now, I don't think that shows up in quest. No. This is actually one of the DLC. So I'll go.
It's good to
more
see
to that
you,
later.
my timely rescuer. Bodon Fennick, at your service, once again. I saw your camp and remember the kind offer that you made the last time we met. And is there anywhere safer for a poor merchant and his son to sleep? I think not. I'm perfectly willing to offer you a fine discount for the inconvenience of our presence. How does that sound? Good? Yes?
I'm cool with it. Have you been following us?
Following you? I'm not even certain where you're going, my friend. And quite frankly, it's none of my business. Trust me when I say that my encountering you here was serendipity and nothing more. I travel a lot, so I'm bound to meet everyone on the road eventually. If you prefer, I'll take my boy and be on my way. But regretfully, you're the safest spot on this road, without a doubt.
It's fine. So what are you selling?
Anything, everything, but all of the finest quality. No cheap trinkets here. And my boy Sandal happens to be a bit of a hand with enchantments. Oh, yes. Sadly, it also makes us a target for bandits and the like. If there were spare hands to hire as guards, I would have done so long ago.
We could definitely use some enchantment. You're free to stay. Just mind yourselves.
Wonderful. Thank the kind lady, won't you, boy?
Thank you, kind lady.
We won't be a bother to you and your companions, I assure you. If you should need enchantments, simply talk to my boy. Otherwise, come speak with me.
That sounds good.
If there's anything I can do for you, please, please tell me.
Oh, persuasion. So what's your story exactly?
Well, if you're really interested, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to tell you. I am originally from Orzammar, the famed dwarven city that lies beneath the stately Frostback Mountains. I was a merchant there, too. Merchant caste. These things are in the blood, you know. You can't just leave them behind. I ran a fairly successful business. Rare artifacts, you know. Old things, grand things. The nobles loved them. Reminded them of the lost glory days, I suppose.
Just the short version will do. Lost Glory.
Our kingdoms once spanned the length of Thados, from majestic Orzammar to Kalsharok to glittering Darmalin far to the west. They say the gold and silver veins ran so thick through the stone of Darmalin that the entire city sparkled. The Darkspawn took it all, of course. One by one, the old Tigers fell, and then all that was left was Orzammar. But we were talking about how I ended up here, weren't we? One day, a noble woman came to my store. She looked around for a bit and then started shrieking in dismay. Apparently, she believed that a pair of braces I had for sale once belonged to her brother. He'd been lost in a cave-in, you see, while on an expedition to clear out the Darkspawn from one of the tunnels running close to the city. They were made specially for him. They're unique, she shrieked. He stole them from my poor brother's corpse. She had me arrested on the spot, of course. Nobles, they're touchy like that.
Did you steal them?
Well, I didn't steal them. You see, I'd been paying these castless thugs to venture out into the deep roads for me. The lost tigers. They're full of things that people left behind. Sometimes you can find a treasure. Something worth a little gold.
Yeah, I agree right here, definitely. Better to do something with them than leave them to rot.
That's exactly how I see it. The noblewoman, she wasn't too happy with the theft of her brother's braces. I don't know what they planned for me, and I didn't want to find out. Bribed the guard that was watching me and took off for the surface first opportunity I got. Never looked back.
You're quite lucky to have done so well.
I thank the stone every single day. Now, is there anything the boy or I can get you?
Didn't mention your son in your tale.
Ah, yes. I'm married to a fine woman back in Denerim, it's true. She'd give me a son if she could, but that's not likely to ever be. Sandal here. I found him in the deep roads years ago. Abandoned, I think, and he was never quite right in the head. I took him in, and I brought him with me when I came here to the surface. He may not be my blood, true, but I think of him as one.
We left Orzammar.
That's right, boy. Maybe one day we'll see it again.
Two's kind of terrible. That was generous of you.
It's not as if I don't benefit, mind you. Turns out the boy's a natural working with enchantments. He might have even been lyrium-addled. I never thought of that before, to be honest. Happens sometimes. He can work an enchantment into just about anything, however, given some time. Could probably open his own shop, if he knew how.
Enchantment.
Well, he does seem to enjoy it, at least.
So where do your goods come from? Not the deep roads.
Look, we don't rob people, all right? We don't take things from people that need them. The things in the lost tigers, what good did they do lying there? I brought them back to Orzammar, where people could look at them and remember. It's not all that different up here. There are places long abandoned by the humans everywhere. Even more now with the Darkspawn coming.
What do you mean?
People flee from the Blight with good reason, but they forget things. Things with value and meaning. They leave them behind because they're frightened and desperate. And sometimes, my boy and I, we find our way to these places before the Horde descends, and we save these things. I take them away so the Darkspawn don't get them. Is that so bad? They destroy everything they touch.
I suppose it's better than having the Darkspawn take it all.
That's what I tell myself, too. Ah, these are dark times indeed. Dark times, my friend.
Heard any rumors?
I heard a strange rumor the other day. King Cailan was not really Merrick's son, you see. Merrick's real son is hidden in the bowels of Denerim's palace and has been since he was born. I suppose they feed him cakes all day to keep him content. Maybe he's simple. Or a mage. Merrick's real son, a mage. Can you imagine? That's what I've heard on the road, anyhow. Take it for what it is. The crafters of the Pearl Brothel are threatening to close their doors if they aren't finally recognized as a true guild. Ha! Can you imagine? As if the men weren't blue enough. That's what I've heard on the road, anyhow. Take it for what it is. It's said the North Road Inn serves a shepherd's pie containing actual shepherds. Seems the innkeeper has something against the flocks being brought too near his own fields. That's what I've heard on the road, anyhow. Take it for what it is. I don't know what to tell you. Nothing I can think of at the moment.
Okay. Let's go and talk to Sandal.
Hello.
The boy's a bit simple, but he's rather good with enchantments. One of those tranquil fellas actually called him a... what was it now? A savant. I had no idea such a thing existed.
What enchantments does he do?
He can fold lyrium into almost any weapon or piece of armor, though naturally some of the more extravagant materials will take more lyrium than others. It's a process that some of the master smiths back in Orzammar will perform, but my boy here is just as adept at it. Isn't that right, boy?
Enchantment!
And there you have it.
Alright, let's check out some of the goods.
Oh, certainly, I can do that for you. Just come with me.
Alright, first I'm going to sell some stuff. Alright, so something happens the very first time you come to camp with the merchants, and in short, it basically is anything in the shop can be bought and will appear again, including unique things. So you can actually double up on some things, like the main big one, or a couple big ones, is you got the tome. Of course, in this we'll want the physical one, and the other one is the backpack. So you can get a backpack now and a backpack when you come back later. It's the only time you can do it though, and I assume, I'm not for sure, but I believe it's because when you actually come here from Lothering, it's automatic. You have no choice but to go straight to camp. But anyway, what I'm gonna do so I can get this is this bow right here sells for a decent amount. I do have a better bow here anyway that, you know, I definitely would use over this one. This one sells for a lot though. And yeah, we could use it, you know, here soon on Liliana, but for the sake of getting what we want, I'm gonna go ahead and buy this tome now and buy this backpack as well. And let's go ahead and get this gift too. Alright, I don't think there's really anything else I need, but of course, if I did pick up anything else, that'd be here too. The other thing is, if you decide to sell something now and you want it back later, because the shop technically is how I said it is, those items won't be there anymore. After you leave here and return though, anything you do at the shop, sell, those items will be there every time. But, so like technically you could get 2 of these if you had the money, etc. But it's just those items I picked up as the big ones, I'd say. So let's go head on out and use them. See here, where's that? What did it give us? Okay, it was a talent. Again, I need to hit level 8 though. Oh, I need 23 dex for that one. And 12 for that one. So again, though, I'll be saving some points. At least until I get the stuff I really, really want to have. So I definitely need... So I got the 6 points here that I'll be getting, for sure. The 9 here, and the extra 4. It will be on the next specialization I get it. Level 14, I want to say. After I get all that though, I'll start going into dual weapon training, getting all through here. Anyway, save what we have for now. And I do believe we're ready to take off because I still don't want to use any of my gifts just yet. No, second, actually.
Something you need? I'm sure either my boy or I... I'm sure...
Huh. Okay, I must have turned it off because I don't like using them in the game because it can mess up the story and such. I don't know, I've just encountered bugs using these before. Basically, there's these gift packs that can be used to give massive approval, because that's what the gifts are used for. Just massive approval to everybody, and it just kind of can throw the game off balance at times, I noticed. I don't know if it ever got fixed or what. The very first time I used them, I had issues with them. But we actually could do some enchanting. Think about it. I don't know if we really have anything. We can. Okay, the sword right there, Oathkeeper.
Enchantment?
I think we can actually see them all in here. So.
Enchantment!
Okay, yeah. Oathkeeper's the only one that's actually being used right now. Reducing movement speed. Fire damage. Shit, let's up his damage. More damage is more threat, so... we'll get to electric damage. There we go. Alright, so I think we're ready to go ahead and move. Let's see, who am I going to use?